If you're a doctor, nurse, pharmacist, or if you work in the health system, chances are someone's told you AI is going to change healthcare. But what does that actually mean for you? Is it just hype? Will it replace you? Or will it become your best clinical partner? These are the exact questions I asked myself. I didn't know where to begin, so I started learning. And today, I want to share my progress to help you get started too. Why? Because the bullet has left the barrel. Whether we like it or not, AI will change everything. Just like smartphones changed how we communicate, navigate, and even practice medicine. You can't stop it mid-air, but you can learn to aim it. When I first heard about AI in healthcare, it felt abstract. Like something for Silicon Valley, not the ward round or dispensary or the rehab unit. But the more I looked into it, the more I realized it's already here and it's learning to think. In some ways, just like we do. AI stands for artificial intelligence. It's not just one machine or one app. It's a whole field of computer science focused on teaching machines to do what we associate with human intelligence. Things like spotting patterns, solving problems, understanding language, making predictions. You know why this sounds familiar? Because if you think about it, that's exactly what we do in healthcare. As a doctor or nurse, your brain has been trained over years through patient cases, repetition, and mistakes. You hear someone describe their pain, and before they finish, your brain has already pulled up 5 likely causes. You see a lab result, and without even thinking, you know it doesn't feel right. You walk onto a ward, and something about the patient's color or posture makes you stop. That's your pattern recognition firing. That's your mental algorithm built from thousands of data points, patient histories, textbooks, ward rounds, gut instinct, missed signs. And now AI is learning in a similar way, but instead of patients, it's trained on vast data sets. Instead of 10 cases, it has seen 10,000. Instead of memory, it has processing power. If you've ever used Google Maps, spoken to Siri, or had Netflix suggest a film, that is AI in action. It learned what you like, what works, and what tends to happen next. And now it's stepping into healthcare, quietly but powerfully. For example, reading chest x-rays and spotting shadows before the human eye would, predicting who might deteriorate on the ward based on vital signs even before symptoms are visible, flagging drug interactions before the pharmacist opens the screen, and even drafting clinic letters or referral notes so the doctor can stay focused on patients. Now, when I saw that, I realized AI isn't some sci-fi robot. It's another mind in the room. It doesn't have experience or compassion, but it does have speed, memory, and data. And it's only going to accelerate. Now, the next question I had was, how does AI actually work? I am a pharmacist, not a software engineer. I don't speak Java or Python. I speak patience. So here's how I made sense of it. Think of a traditional software. It is rigid. You give it step-by-step rules. If the temperature is above 38 degrees and the white cell count is high, flag for infection. That is like a checklist. Useful but brittle. It breaks when reality doesn't follow the rules. But AI, that is different. It doesn't follow a checklist. It learns by example. The same way a junior doctor learns to spot pneumonia. They don't memorize definitions from nice guidelines and call it a day. They sit through the ward rounds. They look at x-rays. They hear the consultant say, "Look at that silhouette. See that patch there?" They make mistakes, get corrected, and over time, patterns become instinct. That is called machine learning. AI works the same way, but on a far bigger scale. Instead of 100 x-rays, it sees 1,000,000. Instead of learning over years, it learns in hours because it's not limited by fatigue, memory, or clinic lists. And then there is something called deep learning, which is another type of AI that uses virtual layers called neural networks that loosely mimic how our brain works. Think of each layer as asking a different question. Is that a shadow? Could it be fluid? What about consolidation? With every image, every data point, it refines its pattern recognition, just like we do. Now, when I realized that, honestly, it felt less threatened because AI doesn't learn instead of us. It learns like us. We're not opposites, we're just trained in different ways. Once I wrapped my head around how AI learns, I hit the next wall, the jargon. Suddenly, everything was acronyms. AI, ML, NLP, LLMs. At first, it felt like reading a drug chart in another language. But I realized once you get the core idea, the rest are just labels. So here's how I made sense of the most common ones. AI, or artificial intelligence. This is an umbrella term. Any system that can mimic human thinking, like reasoning, problem solving, or learning. Machine learning, or ML. It is a type of AI. Instead of following hard-coded rules, ML systems learn from data. It's like teaching a student with case studies, not just textbooks. Deep learning, or DL. It is a more advanced form of ML that uses layered networks. A bit like the way our brain has layers of neurons. Each layer processes a piece of the puzzle, passing it on to the next one, refining the output each time. Natural language processing, or NLP. Now this just blew my mind. It's what allows machines to understand and generate human language. Think dictation tools, auto-generated clinic letters, and even chatbots that answer patients' questions with accuracy. Large language models, or LLMs. These are massive AI systems trained on billions of words, books, websites, research papers. LLMs like ChatGPT don't just copy, they predict the most likely next word in the sentence based on everything they've read. And lastly, algorithms. This one gets overused. At its core, an algorithm is just a set of rules. Think of it like a protocol or a clinical guideline, just for a machine. So, once I understood these terms, I felt like I could finally follow the conversation. Not as a tech expert, but as a healthcare professional who knows how important it is to stay aware of what's changing around us. Because the truth is, AI won't stay in just the IT department. It's coming to the bedside, the clinic, the dispensary, everywhere. At this point, I started asking one question we all ask when something new comes along. How is this going to affect me? Because, let's be honest, healthcare is already being stretched. Another innovation can feel like another thing on top of everything else. But this time, it felt different. AI isn't coming to add more work, it's coming to shift the work. Not always perfectly, not without risks, but in many cases towards less grind and more focus. For example, if you're a doctor, imagine this. You walk into a consultation and just speak naturally. While you focus on the patient's body language, concerns, and hesitations, AI listens in the background and drafts your clinic letter in real time. You finish, review, click approve, and move on. Or imagine you're in A&E and an AI triage tool flags that the person in cubicle 7 is showing signs of sepsis before you even pick up the ops chart. Now, imagine if you're a nurse. It's like having a silent extra set of eyes. Vital signs are monitored continuously, not just when you get the time to check them. An algorithm picks up subtle trends in heart rate, blood pressure, or oxygen saturation and nudges you that this patient might crash in 6 hours. It doesn't replace your judgment. It gives you time to act before you're in crisis mode. Now imagine if you're a pharmacist. AI might start as your pre-check assistant. Before you check a prescription, it's already reviewed interactions, flagged renal dose adjustments, highlighted duplications, and maybe even prioritized your task list based on your clinical urgency. That means less screen fatigue and more clinical decision making. you become more strategic and less mechanical. So this is what I realized. AI isn't replacing us. It's not trying to be human. What it is doing is handling the data-heavy, repetitive, time-sucking parts of our jobs so we can focus on human bits: empathy, judgment, communication, complexity. It's a new kind of colleague, fast, focused, and unemotional. But it still needs you to make sense of the bigger picture. So now you might be thinking, okay, but I'm not a data scientist. I don't code. What am I supposed to do with all this? That's exactly what I thought. But then it hit me. This isn't about becoming a tech expert. It's about being clinically curious again, the same way we were when we first started learning ECGs or interpreting blood gases. Because AI isn't something that's coming later. It's already being integrated into our guidelines, our documentation systems, our audits, our decision tools. So here's what I think you should do. Number one, start asking questions. When you hear this system uses AI, don't just tune out. Lean in. Ask how it works. Ask what data it's trained on. Ask who validated it. Number two, stay involved. You don't need to build the algorithm, but your input, how it behaves in real life, what it gets wrong, and how it affects the workflow. That feedback is gold. If we're not at the table, these tools get designed without us. And number three, be critical, not cynical. Yes, AI will make mistakes. It will reflect bias. It's not perfect, but neither are we. The key is to stay open enough to use its strength and wise enough to spot its limits. Because here's the truth, AI won't replace you, but healthcare professionals who understand how to work with AI, they will shape the future of healthcare. And I believe future still need humans. So don't be afraid of change, embrace it. If this video helped make AI feel a little less abstract and a little more real to you, share it with someone on your team. The more of us that understand this, the better we can lead the change rather than react to it. Also, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. It means the world to me. Until next time, stay safe, folks.